In 1981, Toyota Tracker was introduced. Tracker was the marketing test vehicle for Toyota to be able to introduce the 4Runner. It was Toyota pickup truck with a Tracker conversion installed, and only about 1,500 of Toyota Trackers were ever built from 1981 through 1983, and most of them were sold and went to the west coast of the United States. The first generation was in production from 1984 through 1989. 4Runner was introduced as a two-door four-wheel drive SUV with a solid front axle, removable fiberglass shell over the rear section, and the inline four-cylinder 2.4-liter engine, and it looked like a Toyota pickup truck converted into the semi-convertible wagon. It was mechanically almost identical to the Toyota Hilux pickup truck. Nearly all changes were done to the second half of the body, and because the rear springs were not upgraded to hold the additional weight from the rear seats and the fiberglass top, these early models tended to suffer from sagging rear suspension. Toyota's bringing the 4Runner to market was right when the other truck manufacturers were introducing mid-size SUVs and in mid-1980s, and to differentiate itself from competitors, Toyota magazine ads showed 4Runner having the highest ground clearance of any small SUVs and a removable hardtop. During 1984 through 1986, many 4Runners were imported to the US without rear seats. With only two seats in front, vehicle could be classified as truck rather than a sport vehicle and could avoid the higher custom taxes placed upon the sport and pleasure vehicles, and most aftermarket seats and seat belts added by Toyota dealers after they were imported. 4Runner went through some major evolution stages starting in 1985 when Toyota replaced the original engine with the fuel-injected version and with replacement of the solid front axle with independent suspension, while continuing with the leaf spring suspension on the back. For the second half of 1986 through 1987, Toyota came out with the SR5 Turbo model, offering this optional turbocharged engine paired with an automatic transmission as standard. It looked like the attempt to make four-cylinders seem more powerful compared to V6, while preserving the engine's lighter weight and the weight of the vehicle overall. For 1988, the optional 3-liter V6 engine replaced the turbo 4-cylinder, and throughout the generation span, the manual transmission was standard on most model lineups. The second generation was in production from 1989 through 1995. The second generation 4Runner now was equipped with 4 doors and was made out of real metal. The 4Runner was now more distinguishable from the pickup truck, and the 2-door model was still available for 1990 and 1991, but by 1992 Toyota dropped it from the US market. The new full steel integrated body mounted on the existing frame also gained new coil spring rear suspension, which some say was sagging just like the leaf spring of the rear suspension of the previous model. And in 1989 magazine ads, Toyota marketed the introduction of 4-door 4Runner as a family SUV that the whole family can enjoy now. Toyota highlighted reliability in their marketing campaign, which was a clever move at the time when some car manufacturers were gaining reputation for poor quality. The rear-wheel drive version was offered for 1993, and by 1994 Toyota offered 8-speaker CD system and anti-lock braking system and a sunroof, and this marked the transition of 4Runner to being more than just a roomy off-road vehicle. This was Toyota's response to the sudden surge of SUV sales in the US, and vehicles like Jeep Grand Cherokee and Ford Explorer were gaining sales as demand increased. And for image-conscious customers, the SUV was more than just a vehicle. It was higher-ranking family vehicle, sitting a little above the minivan image. And for those who appreciated a more luxurious trim, Toyota responded in 1995 with the limited edition featuring wood trim, leather and designation badging, and this was the final year for the second generation 4Runner. The third generation was in production from 1995 through 2002. Toyota enlarged the 4Runner for the third generation with a complete redesign of chassis and body, breaking away from the sharing chassis with the pickup truck, renewing the focus on comfort and safety, and the rear-wheel drive returned. Manual transmission was still standard on the base and SR5 models. Four-cylinder engine still standard for the base model. Its volume increased from 2.4 through 2.7 liter, and the V6 to increase to 3.4 liter. Convenience features included new lift-up tailgate, optional side step rails, improved seats, improved center console design, and greatly improved suspension. And by now, Toyota's reputation for reliability was recognized more than ever before. An improved vehicle design and Toyota's expanding reputation resulted in an increase of over 30% in 4Runner sales in 1996. And up through 2000 model, Toyota continuously made convenience, comfort, handling, and performance improvements to many areas. And in 2001, the base model was dropped and some significant changes took place, affecting both on and off-roading handling, and the effort to revise the anti-lock braking system introduced Toyota's skid control, electric brake force distribution, and A-track, which was active traction control. And this technology is what makes four-wheel drive Toyota trucks perform so well in four-wheel low under the light acceleration. This time it shared virtually nothing with the pickup it had originally evolved from and shared the chassis with, and the ergonomics of the interior were completely changed, moving all the controls to the center of the dash. It also received new instrument panel with a digital odometer. The limited trucks also received brand new electronic temperature control and upgraded stereo. These technologies carried forward into the fourth generation 4Runner, which was based on the new Land Cruiser Prado 120 platform. And for 2003, Toyota introduced the next generation 4Runner in a larger body style, showing the design change that was hardly reminiscent of the previous 4Runner models. The larger engine bay was fitted with the either 245 horsepower V6 VVTi as a standard engine producing 283 pound-feet of torque, or an optional 4.7 liter V8 engine producing 235 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque. The V6 was paired with a 4-speed automatic, while the V8 was paired with 5-speed automatic, the first time for a Toyota 4Runner. While the V6 models featured four-wheel drive on demand, V8 models came with full-time four-wheel drive. Toyota went back to offering 3 trim levels, but now the SR was the base model. Between the SR and limited editions was the new Sport edition. It came with a hood scoop, larger front brake calipers and rotors, and liquid shock system called X-REAX, X Relative Absorber System, designed to reduce body lean on turns. Despite what looked to be a street performance truck, Toyota marketed the off-road capabilities of this new Sport edition in magazine ads, and the Limited was loaded with luxury and easily can reach up to $40,000 in price. In 2005, the 4-speed automatic for the V6 was replaced with 5-speed automatic, and the V8 received VVTi, and this increased the engine power to 270 horsepower. It was one of the most powerful mid-size SUVs available, and just like the previous third generation, this fourth generation lasted for 7 years. And now the fifth generation that was in production from 2009, it is the current generation, and for 2010 Toyota introduced the largest 4Runner, and in recent years other manufacturers have abandoned the truck on frame, the body on frame architecture to meet the demand of fuel efficiency and ride control. But Toyota continued with the classic formula of the rugged SUV with their 4Runner, allowing the now larger Highlander to serve this purpose of fuel efficiency and softer handling family car. The new 4-liter V6 engine featuring dual VVTi capable of producing 270 horsepower and 278 pound-feet of torque became the standard engine now, and an optional 2.7 inline 4 engine was available for two-wheel drive models but later cancelled due to its low demand, and the V8 previously available for the 4th generation 4Runner did not carry forward, while the Toyota blamed the improved horsepower and fuel efficiency of the new V6 as the reason for dropping the V8. The SR5 and limited editions offer an optional integrated third row seat. It was the first time for a 4Runner. And this new 4Runner is built on the same platform as FJ Cruiser, which is already cancelled now, which is essentially a modified Toyota Land Cruiser Prado platform. The major facelift was introduced for 2014 with LED headlights and a dramatically more aggressive front that makes you wonder if Toyota is actually trying to get its 4Runner included in the next Transformers movie. But also the front seats were redesigned to allow for more seating space on the second row, and the dashboard features of the interior styling were improved, and well improved the audio and smartphone integration capabilities and technologies. And overall, modern 4Runner is one of the major players on the market for those who wanted a durable truck-based SUV that could do good on the road as it is on the trail. That's all I have for you today, guys. Check out my channel for my other videos, but for now, thanks for watching and see you in the next one.